Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to Back to Shoot. First one of the new year. This is my epic side show where I talk about what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. And boy, there is some big stuff going on in the world of professional wrestling. Let's just go ahead and just jump right into it. This day one on Monday. There were rumors of a former WWE champion making gonna appear on Monday Night Raw, and there were so many things. And then when you get to January 1st, you know that The Rock and his business partner and ex-wife Danny Garcia was in Pasadena on College Game Day promoting the unification of the XFL and USFL, where they combined to make the UFL, correct? All that good stuff. He then goes, in Pasadena, and there's pictures of him talking to Lee Corso, and in the background you see a picture of Nick Khan. Someone that Rock knows well, and obviously Nick Khan, president of WWE. So then people start putting two and two together. Pasadena is about, I guess, a 2-hour drive from where they were playing the Rose Bowl to where Raw was going to be later on that evening in San Diego. So people started putting two and two together to each other. Many people had many thoughts. Maybe they was hoping it was going to be Big E coming back from his neck injury, his first appearance on I think on WWE television since then. Some people maybe Brock Lesnar, or was he going to do? Batista was trending. Some people even thought maybe it was Sasha Banks. Maybe she had re-signed with WWE. But it turned out to be The Rock. But the WWE obviously, of course, does some great trolling. And they bring out the Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal goes and he talks to the anti-American stuff that a former foreigner will talk. And then in the middle of it, out comes The Rock. And he puts him down and yada yada yada, and they do all type of thing. To be honest with you, it was kind of long, a little too long. I thought maybe because earlier in the evening, the match between Jey Uso and Kofi Kingston at Imperium, they were get cut short because of an injury to Giovanni Vinci. So I thought possibly they had put that time onto this. But from everywhere I've seen, it seemed like what happened is this once again they went long. And when you're The Rock, they say, hey, go 15 minutes. And The Rock says, well, I guess they tell The Rock, go 15 minutes, but if you've got, but if you're feeling it out there, you can go a little longer. And he went a little longer than he should have. Then they do the whole thing, and Jinder attacks him. He does the people's elbow, yada yada yada, bam, right? But at the end, and he's thanking San Diego. He asks him about he's going to eat dinner. He wanted to know if he wanted to sit, in a booth or at the bar, beat cheers for the bar, drunk to San Diego. And then he goes, well, he wants to sit at the head of the table. And cheers are erupting and everything like that. And wait, I didn't know where the hell he was going. So, some people claim that they knew exactly where he was going when he first started to, go into where he was going to sit. Okay, fine, good for you. I had no idea where the hell he was going. Listen, like I said, this thing with Jinder, it had gone on too long. It started to become a promo, not for anything having to do with wrestling, but almost a promo for The Rock's future presidential run, And and all it was just okay. There was some funny quips in there about Baywatch making fun of himself. Okay, that's fine. But what made the segment was that sit at the head of the table, line. That what made the segment. And I was sitting there going, what? Okay, well. So when you hear that, you know that he's got his eyes set on Roman Reigns, right? So then you start thinking about, are they gonna do Rock versus Roman? What's happening? What's it gonna be Rock versus Roman? But then you start going, what did that do for Cody? Really, what did that do for Cody? And man, it's it's tough for Cody, but then you start thinking, well, could they actually still do everything and everything? I'll tell you, I sit down and I watch the FIFO Select post game show, whatever I guess you can call it, with Sean Ross Sapp and Denise Salcedo. And they must have spent hour and a half talking about the things that could happen, with The Rock and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and how all of that could figure in. And they were talking themselves in circles. The fans had all types of, who was super chatting, and they had all types of ideas and everything like that. And and a lot of them were some really, some great thoughts and some things like that, because you could just say, right, that they're doing the first thing you say is that this should have been done. The Rock vs. Roman should have been done a long time ago. Should have been done a long time ago. Now, for whatever reason, I just watched something from Wrestle Talk, and they talked about how there was somebody on Twitter who who said that this WWE wanted to. Oh, Dave Meltzer. The other thing from Twitter is that The Rock and Roman Reigns could be at Elimination Chamber, but the Dave Meltzer, now he said that the whole tribal chief head of the table gimmick was so that it could, that was so that it could lead to a Rock versus Roman Reigns match. And I think when you think about it, that is absolutely the case. Because when you think about it, when you call yourself the tribal chief and the head of the table of the NOI family, you would think that the one who sits at the head of the table is The Rock. He's the biggest star wrestling has ever seen. He's drawn more money than probably anybody in that NOI family. And just everything else that comes with wrestling, he's a part of it, and he's part of it, and that's so he is probably the head of the table. But for Roman Reigns to call himself that, it's interesting. And I think it is a great story, but this is a story that should have been told years ago. It should have been told years ago. And listen, The Rock and Roman have all types of things, and so, sometimes things cannot just be what they are, right? Correct? So let's just say, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but let's just say that it was supposed to be done two WrestleManias. It's supposed to be done at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. However, The Rock said he wanted it to be at WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood. So okay, it goes Hollywood. That totally makes sense. It would make sense for me to reason, not only because The Rock is a Hollywood star and things like that. The Rock could have done the Ric Flair thing and retired. Not retired, but been put in the Hall of Fame. That that night, the night before, a couple nights before, then he could have had this match at Mania. At WrestleMania 39, it didn't have to be for the title. Things like that. They could have easily then set down this Cody Rhodes storyline and maybe think, maybe everything changes. Maybe Cody doesn't get beat at WrestleMania, so then therefore, therefore you don't have the backlash, which I continue to say is ridiculous, over Cody not winning the title at WrestleMania. But it's there. Everything's happened, and it should have happened at one of those two WrestleManias, 38 or 39. I totally agree. But him and Nick Khan and Vince McMahon couldn't come up with a storyline that felt great. And he said this on Pat McAfee's show this past fall. During the day that he went back to SmackDown. Earlier that day, he did the Pat McAfee show. They were in Boulder, Colorado for the Colorado State thing. Deion was going. Deion Sanders was. The Colorado Buffaloes were on top at that point, on top of the world. They was making some major noise, but. Back to this, and he had stated on Pat McAfee show that the things just couldn't get together and with the right story, and I don't know if, and he says he wants to do stuff good for the fans, but the story was right there. That's a good enough story. Roman Reigns calls himself the head of the table. You are like I said, you are the biggest star wrestling has ever seen. You are the highest paid actor in the world. You are one of the most likable people even in the world, even with that whole backlash of the whole Maui thing, which is once again very fucking stupid. But anyway, you're the most recognizable person in the world. And somebody, I can't remember all the stuff I watched the last couple of days, but I remember somebody saying that The Rock was the most recognizable person in the world. Like, the storyline, it doesn't have to be something special, it's something extra. And all it has to be is the fact that you are who you are. And Roman Reigns calls himself the tribal chief at the head of the table, and you have a problem with that because you believe that is what you are, and that is what you've done. And I did nothing. And you can even say you're here because of me. And the Usos back then was behind Roman. The Usos are here because of me. Solo Sikoa is here because of me. Nia Jax has been here because of me. You guys are, running my coattails. That's what I'm here to tell you. He could have said that in this rock way that would have sounded, like a heel. That's something that he's just a heel would say. That's something that Roman Reigns would have said. Correct? So he probably has said at one point in time during this run, and you could have done like that. So that didn't happen. It didn't come to fruition. I had been saying that if it wasn't going to happen last year, then it probably shouldn't have happened. It probably should not happen. Because I knew when Roman Reigns beat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, WrestleMania 39, that WrestleMania 40 main event was going to be Cody Rhodes versus WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. And that's what, and they were going to do it at WrestleMania 40 because it's the 40th WrestleMania. And they want to have a big thing at WrestleMania. That's why WrestleMania 20 we had Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. There was something big. It was something big. Something the fans had wanted for a few years, and they had Eddie and then Hud. You think about WrestleMania 10, you had Bret Hart. You had Bret Hart on the shoulders, things like that. WrestleMania 30, we could always talk about WrestleMania 30 and what they did want. Maybe they did want Batista there, things like that. But they got was even better with Daniel Bryan and WrestleMania and everything like that. So they wanted something special for WrestleMania 40. So of course it's going to be Cody Rhodes overcoming all of the odds again, overcoming the adversity, finishing his story, at the thing. Although I did also think as well that there was a point that Madison Square Garden earlier in back in the summer of 2023 was going to be at SmackDown was going to be at Madison Square Garden right after the July 1st Money in the Bank, and I thought that would also would have been a great time as well. Have Cody win Money in the Bank, cash in at Madison Square Garden, and have him beat Roman Reigns, or you could even have that, or you can even have done the Dusty finish where not Dusty finish, but the finish where Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns, but he beats him by countout. You know, just like his father. His father won by countout, and he won the match, but he didn't win the title. It could have been a great story there, but they decided to do that. Go that way, unfortunately. But anyway, so we can get back to this. So now, here we are. Right? We're on the road. Cody Rhodes is finishing the story. CM Punk shows up. Okay. CM Punk shows up out of the blue. That's fine. That's still not a problem though. Because if CM Punk's thing is to finish his story or to finish what he started, which was to main event of WrestleMania, guess what? That still can happen, right? Night 1, CM Punk versus what looks to be Seth Rollins, whether it's for the World Heavyweight Championship, whether it's not for the title, whether it's for just part of the end of a massive feud, whatever. It can happen, right? So it doesn't mean that Cody Rhodes' story though, because Cody Rhodes can still find a way, even if CM Punk wins WrestleMania or something like that. Cody Rhodes can still Rumble. Excuse me. I'm so geeked up. I'm misspeaking in all types of things, so I apologize. But I'm trying to go through this. I'm trying to process this just like everybody else is. But then Cody Rhodes could find his way through the Elimination Chamber to get to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Everything's still set in the world. And then Monday comes along and blows everything the fuck up. And again, I was like I said, I watched the post game show on Fightful Select on YouTube channel with SRS and Denise. I watched Tuesday the review show on Wrestle Talk, and there's been many talks from the hosts of those shows, from the super chats that they got in. A lot of people talking about, they necessarily doesn't have to be at WrestleMania, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. They can do it at Elimination Chamber. Now, I personally kind of agree with Sean Ross Sapp and Denise. Denise Saucedo from Fightful Select. They talked about how that just doesn't seem to be a match that you'd want to do at the Elimination Chamber, right? It doesn't, sure, they're going to be in Australia. It's going to be big time. It's going to be all of that. But it's just not what you want to do. Right? That doesn't seem like that you want to do it there. And it's not necessarily the whole, talking about, Rock Hogan 2, which someone on Wrestle Talk brought up, as a super chat, where they did Rock and Hogan 2 at the No Way Out before WrestleMania 18. But no, that was Rock Hogan 2. We had seen the epic matchup at WrestleMania 18, not before WrestleMania 18, excuse me. We saw that epic matchup there. The Rock Hogan 2 was for WrestleMania 19. And there was going to be a bigger match at WrestleMania 19 between Rock and Austin. The third matchup, the third main event at a WrestleMania. It is what it was, right? And Hogan had a tremendous match with Vince McMahon. Yeah, at WrestleMania 19 as well. So it was, you know, we're gonna be other things. So this one, it was done at Elimination Chamber match. As even with following the story and everything like that, Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania 40 does not seem to be a bigger match than The Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania 40. But then there's the question of, well, you can do both at WrestleMania, right? Which that I can see that, and I would probably enjoy that, right? You could have something where, I don't know, night one, you know, Roman has this thing, and rightfully so, where he's if he's the main event, and if he's not the main event, then he needs to be like the first match. You know, have that match and let's get that match over with. And that was one thing he had before. I think that was the match at one of the Crown Jewels a couple years ago he had with Goldberg. You know, him and Goldberg was like the first or second match on the card. So yeah. So why couldn't you night one have, you know, Rock or Roman or Cody versus Roman, whichever one feels right, have that as the night one opener, and then come back around to night two and have the other one as the main event. And again, I think that's one. You know, Sean Rossap kind of thinks that could be, you know, that could be interesting because things can happen. This is not ballet. This is professional wrestling. You go out there and you say, okay, Rock versus Roman. You go out there, you open night one. You go out there, they have a match. Roman sprains his ankle. And then he's gonna come back 28 hours later for the main event on a sprained ankle. Not gonna be able to do the match that you wanted. It's not gonna be able to do as much as you could, things like that. And then there's not even a thing of that. There's some, you know, worse happens. He gets a concussion, and he breaks a bone or something, and you know, and can't work completely, and medical repair. And your main event of WrestleMania 40 is completely done, and I understand that. And I think that's something that makes sense too, right? So then there's so then does Cody Rhodes' story have to be finished at WrestleMania? Again, something brought up by Denise Salcedo and Sean Rossap on that Fightful post show. Does it have to be done? Does Cody Rhodes' story have to be finished at WrestleMania? Again, I just told you a few minutes ago. I thought a good way to finish the story would have been for Cody to win Money in the Bank, and then that Friday at Madison Square Garden, next Friday at Madison Square Garden, cash in on Roman Reigns and win it there in Madison Square Garden. That would have been a nice way. So it doesn't have to be finished at WrestleMania, but I don't know if you can finish it anywhere else. And then there's even thoughts about, well, can Cody and Roman wrestle at Elimination Chamber? Okay, but how would that happen? Because as of right now, Cody Rhodes is a Raw superstar. Roman Reigns is a SmackDown superstar. So how would Cody? What is Cody Rhodes gonna do the John Cena thing, where he says, a couple years ago, decade ago, 2009, I think it was, John Cena tore his pectoral muscle in 2008, fall 2008. Supposed to be out 8 months. He came back in 3 months. He was the number 30 entry in the Royal Rumble at Madison Square Garden. He won. He took his championship match not at WrestleMania, but he took his match the next month. No, and then they did a triple threat between Cena, Triple H, and Randy Orton at WrestleMania 24 or 25? No, 24. 25 was something else. Yeah. So he took it there. So is that what you're gonna do? Are you gonna have Cody Rhodes win, have him take his title match, to Elimination Chamber against Roman Reigns? so that then you could have Roman and Rock main event that one. Again, that's something that you could. Something that you could do. That's something that you could do, but you still feel that Cody's moment should be at WrestleMania, not at Elimination Chamber. Even though they're gonna make this they're gonna make this event in Perth, Australia, as big as it can. It's gonna be huge. The stadium that they're wrestling at is roughly the same size as Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. So, and depending on the stage they put, they're gonna make a bigger stage for WrestleMania than they are for Perth. And they've talked about they want to do more minimalistic things for all these other pay-per-views, not these are big sets and things like that. There's more minimalistic things so that more seats can be put in. Think about Survivor Series. It was just kind of just like a minimalistic thing so that they could have more seats in, so, and then floor seats and everything like that. So this would be amazing, and again, it's something that could make sense, because for me, it says that a Rock and Roman match does need WrestleMania. It does. It needs to be on WrestleMania. And that is something that there are only 2 matches as of right now. 2 matches that would be bigger than any other matches that there could ever be. Right? It's Rock versus Austin. Not Rock versus Austin. Rock versus Roman Reigns. And CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. These are the 2 matches. Both have been rumored the last couple months. Since Punk came back, and there was rumors that WWE really wants Punk versus Austin, and then that's a main event match already. Because we know Steve Austin, he's not coming back to do, opening segments, which I thought should have been, what he did with Kevin Owens, but it turned out to be a match, and it actually turned out to be probably the right way to go. To be very perfectly honest, especially the way the match ended, the women's match between Ronda and Charlotte ended. But they could have changed that finish for Ronda and Charlotte due to the fact because of Steve. But that's there. But yeah, but those are the 2 matches that are probably like the biggest matches that you can do as of right now. Even as hot as the WWE is right now, even as crazy as it is right now, for Punk and Rollins maybe to be there, and for Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns Part 2 to be happening, and all the other things, Jimmy versus Jay, and anything else that could happen. Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. What? People want to see that as well. Anything that could go down. Those are probably still the 2 biggest matches that WWE could do. And you have the possibility to do one of them, and you're going to do it in Australia? No offense, Australia. Love you. And it's going to be fun to watch you guys. And I think, we'll be up massively late in February watching, the thing. Because I think they're gonna start, over there local time at 7 or 8 o'clock, and I think here's going to be 10. So that's what I think. I'm not sure, but people have been saying that. They're talking about it. But the time the show is in Australia is going to be 4 a.m. here. So I'm not sure, but again, it just is going to be what it's going to be. So we are going, so you're going to have that, and you're going to have it. It's going to be a great time, but is that match there at, Perth, Australia, in the Elimination Chamber match? And boy, I don't know. And see, and that's what, like, I did one of these things, for the title, I said Cody versus Rock, right? Who should it be? But and I don't have an answer. I really don't. I don't know. I'm really leaning to just have. I'm really leaning towards. I'm really leaning towards, just doing doing the double, have Roman Reigns do double duty, and just risking it. I really am. That's what I'm leaning towards because I guess The Rock and Roman Reigns needs to be at WrestleMania, but it doesn't need to be the main event. It doesn't need to be for the title. All those I agree with. I think Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns needs to be the main event of night 2 because of what I talked about earlier as well. The moment afterwards. We go back to WrestleMania 10. Was Bret Hart standing, being lifted up by the people after winning the championship the second time, beating Yokozuna, having Owen to stand out there and just scowl at him. Can't believe it, that the man he beat early in the night is now the WWF champion. WrestleMania 20. Benoit and Eddie Guerrero hugging after the triple threat match between Benoit and Michaels and Hunter, where Benoit survived. He made Hunter Helmsley, made Triple H tap out. That moment, which we now know because of things that Chris Benoit has done afterwards, and obviously the tragedy of Eddie Guerrero is a lot more somber moment than this joyous moment, now. But it's the moment at that time was really great. WrestleMania 30, WrestleMania, Barry O'Brien and everything like that. Great moment. And there probably needs to be a great moment for WrestleMania, for the end of WrestleMania Night 2. And that's Cody Rhodes beating Roman Reigns and winning that WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. And yes, I do think that he needs to win. There are some people that are worried, and some people are starting to believe that maybe this will not happen because they want Roman Reigns to get to pass Hulk Hogan for the championship and for the championship, but pass Hulk Hogan for the longest days reigning as a champion, which is not a massive thing because it's still like only 5th or 6th. That's still only 6th all the time. I mean, Hogan still has a longer reign than his next upcoming reign, that Roman Reigns would beat. And then there's still 2 reigns of Bruno, right? 2 reigns of Bruno, along with that other Hogan long reign. And then I think there's Pedro Morales, ahead of that. So again, I think that was the 4th. I'm not sure if there's a 5th one or not. But I know it's those 4 at least. So he would Roman Reigns would either go into 6th or 5th place if he would win, and then pass up Hogan later in that, later this year. But that's not the record, that that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It means something, but it means more for Cody to finish the story now. Now, if you want to tell me that they would have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns at 3 consecutive WrestleManias, I would totally be down for that. And I think that would be a cool thing, right? Have Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania 39, Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania 40. Cody wins, is now 1-1, and then now the third match in their program is now at WrestleMania 41, Cody versus Roman. Where you could go either way. I probably would go the way of having Cody win the match, have Cody and Roman shake hands, and then that's maybe where you could start the babyface turn of Roman Reigns, possibly. I'm to be honest with you, Roman Reigns just done such great work and such an effective heel that I'm very, very cautious. I'm very, very cautiously about turning him babyface. Now, again, this is a different era. This is not Vince McMahon era, where if you turn him babyface, he would just go back to being smiling Joe Roman Reigns. This is where Roman Reigns would still be the head of the table tribal chief type, character, but just in the babyface way, which that could be great as well. So I could be down for that. I don't know if I'm down. Actually, I'm not down. I'm not down for the 3 consecutive WrestleMania main events where Cody Rhodes was, because when you get to the third one, at that point, it's not, it may be starting to fall. It may be starting to fall anyway, even if you did it like this. But at least you hear the thing of Cody winning one, Roman winning one, and the third one is now the rubber match, and maybe you would make it some type of grand stipulation. It's a Hell in a Cell. It's a 1 hour Iron Man match. It's a 2 out of 3 falls match. Something that would make it, gain steam. Maybe make it even more. So you could always do that. But I think Cody again needs to win, and it needs to win in the main event tonight too. Now I know you're talking about would The Rock really be okay with doing a opening match? He may be okay. He may be okay because maybe The Rock realizes that this is just the only time he's going to do it. The only time he can do it, because he's got other movies. He's got movies that he needs to film. They're going to start filming Fast 11 very soon, right? He's got that. He's got to get other movies. He's got to get TV shows. He's got to do this, UFL thing. He's a big part of that. So he's got so much stuff going on that this may be the best time to do it. He's got time within these 3-4 months right now between January and April 1st or whenever it is to do these shows, to do promos, to do interviews, to hype up this match for Mania. And I think that's something that maybe some people are also thinking about too, because they talked about maybe The Rock being not in wrestling shape. He's kind of breathing hard and after doing a people's elbow and a spine buster to Jinder Mahal, right? After he got back on the mic and he was talking. But maybe that's just the thing. Maybe you don't need to do a match. The Rock and Roman. Sure, it's a match, and sure, you would love it to be a 25-minute absolute classic where it's a where only morons wouldn't give it maybe 4.5 to 5 stars, right? Only morons wouldn't do that. But also maybe that's just not the case, and maybe that's something that we need to do, because maybe we can get that match with Cody versus Roman, and maybe this Rock and Roman match, it just needs to be 10 to 12 minutes, and they can just and they can just put and they can do Goldberg, Brock Lesnar type of match where it's just high impact move after high impact move, spear on Roman, spear by Roman, Superman punch, rock bottom, spine buster, elbow, people's elbow, things like that. Just a quick thing like that. Something that's entertaining. It won't go down as the greatest of all time. Something that's entertaining. Something that tells the story of what should it be, being Roman Reigns beating The Rock, and proving that he is without a doubt the head of the table. Because Roman Reigns has to beat The Rock. I don't think that's anything. Because this should be The Rock's last match. Rock versus Roman should be Rock's last match. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, right? So and last match, no, we had Edge, and he, and Edge went out on top, and this thing about putting somebody over on the way out may be passe, and it may be unrealistic anymore. But I think The Rock, who has major respect for this business, is something that he would do. Especially with the fact that you're talking about putting over his cousin. Yeah, I think that's something that The Rock would do. And WWE would want The Rock to do. Because Roman Reigns, for the most part, still probably has, if Roman Reigns wants, he probably still has a good 5 to 7 years left in him as a professional wrestler. You see, he probably still has a good 5 to 7 years in him before he starts to break down and says, okay, I can go do movies and things like that. He's not gonna be as big as The Rock, but he can, he'll be he would be a good movie star if he wanted to go. But in the ring, I think he probably does have a good 5 to 7 years left in him. That's neither here nor there, though. So like I said, you're gonna have this match, and then so you can have a quick, short match, and people would like it, be entertained. Roman could win. You could send off The Rock, and guess what? It doesn't. I'm talking about the lasting image of WrestleMania, right? The lasting image of WrestleMania. In WrestleMania 26, the lasting image of Shawn Michaels saying goodbye to everybody, but still it was an image that nobody will ever forget, especially heartbreakers like myself. There's something that doesn't need to be led. You can still, that moment of the aging hero, or whatever you want to call it, kind of walking out on his shield, right? It is something that you can that can be done at any time. So again, if it's the opening match of night one, and you go 10, 12, 15, I don't know, but 10, 12 minutes, things like that, you can do that, and then come back later night two, and I would risk having Roman Reigns come down with an injury, something like that, for because I think that again the final moment of WrestleMania 40 needs to be Cody Rhodes, the conquering hero, maybe with his wife, maybe with his his young daughter, maybe with Brody Lee Jr. in the ring, anybody like that, maybe even some of his friends. Even if you want to do the moment where him and CM Punk are in there with both the championships, shaking hands, that could be a visual unlike anything ever seen. Whatever you wanted to do, right? You could have it there, but I think the lasting moment of Punk having that championship in his hands, him probably in tears. He probably will be in tears because what that means to him and his family and his father. That could be a moment that could be awesome, and I think that it needs to happen. So, but man, there are a lot of things that are talked about, and a lot of things that are happening, and we will see what this will be. We will see what happens over the next few months and weeks, and I will be surprised if we get Rock versus Roman at Elimination Chamber. I will be surprised at that, and I will also I would also be surprised as if we don't get Cody finishing the story at WrestleMania. I would be surprised at that, because to me, again, that just makes sense. But that's just me. This was what a week, folks. What a week. And tonight we've got SmackDown, New Year's Revolution. We're gonna find out who Roman Reigns faces at the Royal Rumble. Find out who's gonna face Logan Paul for the United States Championship at the Royal Rumble, and have so many others. Finding out who Butch's partner gonna be. Is it return? Is it gonna be a returning Sheamus? Is it gonna be Tyler Bate? Who never knows, but the WWE has said, "Oh, so you want to do? You guys over here doing this over here, and we got Wrestle Kingdom over here, and all this other stuff. Okay, 2023 was our big year. Don't fuck with us in 2024. We got something for your ass." All right, guys. Programming note: next Wednesday, I'm going to have a video where I'm going to go over what I want to see from myself this year, and it involves like all of this on the stuff that I do here on YouTube. It involves what I want to do with my podcast. It involves what I want to do, over on Twitch or my video game playing. So it involves all of that. Things here, and some things that if you guys have been with me like the past 3 years, especially when I was down in North Carolina, you know that things have been kind of weird with this channel. Things have not been as steady or as comfortable or anything like that. We've had video issues, we have audio issues, we've had some things where I wasn't doing a lot of videos. At one point, I was only doing this video. I was only doing this video because I could only record this. Then I could do this. But we're in a new time, in a new era, new city, new place. I'm calling it a new year, a new me. So that's gonna be next Wednesday. Make sure for that. That's gonna drop sometime in the afternoon on Wednesday. So be here for that. It's also, I'm gonna kind of simulcast it. Not only is it gonna be here on my YouTube channel, but it's going to be on my podcast. If you listen to my podcast, both from the sports podcast and like the non-sports podcast, I'm going to put it up there as well. So it's going to be there. You can find out what my plans are, what I hope to do this year, and with this channel, and with everything, with the Twitch and the podcasts, and how I hope to grow. So that by the end of the year, it's a totally different AJTRIP. So definitely want you guys to be watching that. That's going to be coming up on Wednesday, the 10th, the day before my birthday. Having said all that, let's get back to why we were here. That's a shoot. So yes, post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about what should happen. What should happen with the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and The Rock. Who should main event WrestleMania? How should it go down? Where should the wrestling happen? Did you agree with me? I finally settled on saying I'm gonna risk having Roman Reigns wrestle twice. He opens night 1, he closes night 2. Opens night 1 with The Rock, closes night 2 with Cody. Or do you think it should just be Cody, maybe The Rock and Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber? It isn't a bad thing. It does make sense to do it there. Or do you think that Cody should be the match with Cody? It happens at Cody, then The Rock and Roman Reigns happens at WrestleMania. Or do you think that it's Rock and Roman, just it, and then Cody Rhodes, he finishes his story down the road? Just whatever your opinion is, let me know down in the comment section. And I know you've got one, because this is just, it's unbelievable. I can't believe this could be happening. Yeah, it should have happened earlier, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah. So again, thank you guys so much for posting your comments down below. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJTRIP, signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. Let's have a wonderful 2024. And I am out.